What's going on YouTube? Marcus Crockett back with another video. In this video, really want to talk about the differences between door knocking versus having appointments set, right? So when it comes to growing your business, like first and foremost, let me just be honest. Whatever way you choose when it comes to growing your business, whatever way you choose, it doesn't matter as long as you're getting results, as long as you're seeing growth and you're getting traction and your business is starting to move in the direction that you want it to move in. Whichever one of these methods work, and they both do work, by the way. Both of these methods actually do work for you to go ahead and get to grow your company. But it's really just a matter of what works for you right now, or what works for you in the period of growth that your company is in, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and break down the differences between the two, and then I'll leave it up to you to decide which one would be better for you to go ahead and move forward to grow your company. All right, here we go. So we got door knocking versus appointment setting. So first, let's go over the pros. What are some of the pros to going out and doing door knocking? Now, I will tell you this. Door knocking, it is effective. Going by, meeting with local businesses or wherever you are, knocking on their doors, giving them your name, your company, what it is that you do. This method actually does work. I made a video on exactly how to do this. If you don't have any money, or your budget is low, or you have money that's allocated for different things, this is something that will actually get your business up and running. It'll get it jump started. I'm telling you that this method does work. And the only reason why I know it works is because I actually did it, right? And in some cases, depending on where I'm at, I still may do it. And I'll cover that later on, right? But it does work. And it also helps you to improve your ability to speak to strangers. Me, I'm an introvert naturally. I've always been an introvert. I always would prefer to do way more listening than I would to do talking. So it wasn't until I got into sales, and it was, I had to eat what I could only eat what I could kill, and that got me out to being able to talk and be in front of people and explain my products and services. So this is just another avenue, right? Going out, knocking on doors, talking to strangers, putting yourself in a position where you got to make a sale, where you have to do something. It just makes things easier for you when you actually do get in front of decision makers, and it's go time. They're going to ask you a certain question, and their answer, or I'm sorry, they're going to ask you a question, and your answer is going to determine whether or not they're going to go with you, right? So you always want to be ready. And at the end of the day, like, the more people you speak in front of, the more people who you tell what your business is all about. It's all about just getting those reps, right? Repetition, over and over and over, doing the same thing, telling people telling people the same story, explaining your business, selling your business. The more you do that, the better at it you're going to be. The other thing is, like, local businesses will get a chance to put a face to the name of your company, right? So it's easy to go out to have this really, really big name. Like, okay, well, I'm going to do business with such and such company. They're a Fortune 500 company. But when you're a smaller company, you don't have the same star power as some of these bigger companies. So when you actually go out and you're meeting with these small companies, whether it's chiropractor offices or dental offices or veterinary clinics, whatever it is, and say, okay, well, this is who I am. This is my company. We're right around the corner on Main Street. I'm just making my rounds, introducing myself, telling you guys about the business. That people appreciate that, especially like in smaller areas. People really do appreciate that you coming out. So now they're able to attach your company's name with your face, and that can really only be accomplished by going out doing door knocking it, unless you have like this big budget where you can go out and just run like social media campaigns. But this is a cheap way to achieve just that, right? Having people put a face to a name. And then the other thing, small businesses, I'm going to say a lot of the time, it's probably like 50-50. They really do enjoy doing business with other small and local businesses. I've lost accounts. There was an account that I was doing a proposal for, and things look good. The numbers look good. Um, you know, Everything matched up. I thought we were going to get the account, and when it came time for me to do my follow up, she let me know that the only reason why they're not going to go with us is because the other company who they're going to go with is local, and we were maybe like I don't know, maybe 20 minutes away. So, in this other company was their office was in like walking distance. So that made them feel comfortable. That made them feel like they were giving back to the community, and they're sharing the, they're keeping their neighborhood, keeping the money within their neighborhood. I completely understand it. So going out and door knocking, these are things that I found out, right? So I'm just passing this along to you. Small businesses in some cases or some cases do love to do business with other small local business, right? Some of the cons of door knocking. Okay, there are cons when it comes to door knocking. The first thing is this can be expensive, right? And when I say expensive, I mean it can cost you a lot of time, right? So you're going out and you're doing, you're using the method that I told you about in a previous video, and you are, you're executing. Well, that could be a 5 6 hour day depending on how much work you're putting in. A 6 7 8 hour day, it all just depends on what route or what method you want to take. So it can definitely cost you a lot of time. And then at the same time, aside from the time, that you should be getting these quality flyers, right? So you get your flyers made, but you want them on quality paper, and the paper can be expensive. So you're paying for your time, right? And then you're paying for these papers. And I can tell you, like, just being 100% honest with you, most of the flyers that you like, the like customers, they're not always as excited about your flyer as you are about your flyer, right? So we spend all this money on these flyers, and we get our graphics made and everything looks good, but I'm going to be honest, and I'm going to tell you that most of your flyers are going to end up in the trash, right? But it's a numbers game. It's a matter of how many people can you reach, how many people can you impact, and the only way you're going to be able to do that is just to pass them out, right? So flyers, they're not cheap. So expect most of it to go in the trash. And then too, like, gas is expensive right now. So this is fine if you're local, if you're just going local. But let's say you want to go the next city over, and you're going to go drive all the way out there in hopes that you're going to land one or two walkthroughs after spending all of these hours out passing out these flyers. So once you get out there and do that, then you got to drive back. And you're doing that a couple times a week, like, it can add up. Gas is expensive, right? So this is just one of the cons. But aside from the cons, like I'm telling you, like, this method actually still does work. The only problem is, like, if you live in a climate like Southern California, or somewhere Florida, somewhere where the temperatures are pretty much consistent, or where the weather's pretty much consistent, that's okay. But where I live, like, I had to be strategic as to when I was going to go out, because it rains all the time. So you don't want to be out getting rained on, getting wet, walking into people's business, and you look like, whatever the cat just drug in. And you know what I mean? Your papers are wet, you're wet. So you just got to be mindful of that, right? So summertime is always a good time to do that up where I'm at. But depending on where you are, it may snow a lot. It may rain a lot. It may be too hot. So it just depends. But regardless to all of the cons, guys, like I'm telling you, like, this is still a free way, and it does actually work. It gets you noticed. It gets you out there. People will start to recognize your face with your business, and they see you, and it definitely does work. So now moving on to the pros of getting appointments set. So it is inexpensive to get. It's not cheap. I'm going to explain the difference. It's inexpensive, but it's not cheap. So let's just say, for example, that um, one appointment costs you, let's just say, $100, right? So your first appointment, you didn't get. Your second appointment, you didn't get. Your third appointment, you didn't get. Your fourth appointment, you didn't get. Your fifth appointment, you got. This is a $500 investment that it took you to get one appointment. But that one, I'm sorry, for you to get one contract. So that one contract is now worth $500. After you do your first month worth of service, all the money you invested, you get back. And now you have 12 more or 11 more months to go, where you're collecting that $500 each and every month, on top of other services that you can include. I will spend $500 to make back 6,000 every single time, right? I'll do that over and over and over again. And when you look at it that way, it's easy to see why, um, that's a smarter route to go, right? So you definitely do get a lot of bang for your buck when it comes to having appointments set. They're guaranteed face-to-face meetings. I don't like to use the word lead generation. Like, this is appointment generation. A lead is a possibility that something's going to happen. When an appointment is set, this is a guaranteed appointment. You will be in the face of the person who can make the decision, or whoever the person can make the decision delegates that meeting to, right? So you're in the loop now. There are no more door knocking. You've skipped over everyone that you needed to skip over, and now you're in the face of the actual person who can make a decision that can get your company the contract or not. This is very important. So I don't really like to use lead generation, because these are actually guaranteed face-to-face meetings, right? And let's say, for example, we'll just use the example I used a minute ago, where I went through five appointments to get one, right? Or you know what I mean? So to get one. So those other four that we missed out on, who knows what the story behind those was, but I got each and every one of those person's email, their phone number. I got all their contact information. I'm going to keep that person for life. And for whatever reason we were turned down for, now I can go ahead and say, okay, with I'll always ask this. Okay, I understand we didn't get the contract. That's completely fine. Do you mind if I reach out to you in the next 3 to 6 months, just to see how everything's going? If the current company that you chose to go with, if they're still, or if they are giving you the service that you want and you need. No one has ever told me, no, don't reach out to me. No one's ever said that. So the appointment that's set, you get that contact for life. And there's been cases, right, where we didn't get the contract, and later on down the line we will get the contract, just from actually just going out and continuing the email, and just making sure that we're on their mind. Every couple of months they'll get a reminder email from me, right? So, and then like another thing I want to point out too, when it comes to these, I had a walkthrough. This was probably like 2 years ago. So one of my clients, I'm going to do it in this order. So I do a walkthrough. The walkthrough is going great. The follow-up walkthrough goes great. We don't get the account. I'm like, okay, I wasn't tripping. I do a completely unrelated walkthrough for another company. I don't know that these two guys know each other. We serviced this company for like a year. They have nothing but good things to say about us. So who does he refer us to? He refers us back to the company that we did all those walkthroughs for, and nothing ever came of it, right? So this is the power of having, and he remembered us, right? So when we went there, he's, oh, I remember you guys. Things were wrong, and or things were off, or we're going through a transition, so on and so forth, da 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 da, right? So I'm only saying that to say that going out, meeting those people face to face, like guaranteeing that you're going to actually meet the person who can actually press the green button. Actually going out, meeting them face to face is priceless, because who knows what can happen 2-3 years down the line. Like, we circled around, and then we ended up getting the guy who they were going through things, and it just wasn't the right time for them. And now we got him, right, and his friend had to go ahead and basically he vouched for us. And now that we're now in the, now that we're now in the account, it's like, I told you, we are who we said we were. Look, your friend over here, he knew right away what he was looking at, right? And anytime that there's an additional service, I don't want to go too far off topic, but now that anytime that there's an additional service that the company who we just got, the one that turned us down before, anytime there's an additional service that's needed, he never second guesses anything that I'm telling him, because by him not going with us originally and having his friend validate us, right? That now is like, okay, well, he's stepping back, like, well, maybe I don't know everything when it comes to this. Let me leave it up to Marcus and his team to guide us in the right direction, right? So I hope that made sense. So I kind of went around a little bit, but I hope it makes sense. But the bottom line is, you know what I mean, having those face-to-face meetings with actual people who can make the decision is priceless, right? So some of the cons of having appointments set, right? In all honesty, there are no cons, and here's why. Here's why there's no cons. Now, don't get me wrong. I've gone to walkthroughs, and I've had I've basically had the appointment. I've had the decision maker basically window shop. So okay, they're gonna window shop. All right, cool. I'll go ahead. I'll do everything I'm supposed to do. Get all the information I need to get. What I will then do is, since I'm already here, I will go around and knock on doors from surrounding businesses. So the same thing that I was telling you about before when it comes to door knocking, it can be still be applied with actual appointments being set. It's just when you feel like, okay, this appointment, they're happy with their company, they don't want to change anything. When you feel like you're just being window shopped, what was guaranteed, it was guaranteed, right? You still got your appointment, but you can still now implement. You're already there anyway. You might as well go ahead and implement door knocking on the back end of that, on the back end of that appointment. And it doesn't always have to be if you feel like you're being window shopped. If you only have one or two appointments set up for the day, when you go out to those appointments, go do your appointment, take your measurements, do everything that you're supposed to do. But then go and knock on doors, make your face be, make your face be known, make your face be seen. Go ahead and do that, implement that while you're out there, because you've already taken away all the cons. You already had your one set appointment, and now that you're all the way over here, take advantage, because your gas, you've already spent your gas to go ahead and circle those buildings, knock on doors, pass out flyers. You'll always have flyers and other information about your company on your person, in your vehicle, always, right? Hopefully, this made sense, and you'll be able to go ahead and implement some of this stuff into what it is that you're doing. And I've been so busy, like I had to put a pause on everything. But the appointment setting program, the appointment setting generation, it is coming. It's coming. It's coming. Like that's coming. Of course, it's coming. Just be patient with me. I've been crazy busy. Um, I got a lot of stuff going on right now, and I'm trying to get everything out as quickly, but also as efficiently as possible. I don't want to put no trash out there, right? So just be patient, and I'll get this stuff out to you as soon as I can, guys. But I just wanted to go ahead and drop that video real quick, guys. Like I say, I'm always dropping jewels. You just got to make sure you're in position to pick them up. You do that by liking, commenting, and subscribing. Once again, my name is Marcus Crockett. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.